This is it. It's been a good rise. The last episode ever, unfortunately. Lot of Jets banter unnecessarily on the show thrown my way. But whether it was in the studio, whether it was here on Discord because of COVID, a lot of good times on the show. So it's sad to see it coming to an end. But Sean, it's been a glory run. And Billy behind the scenes for a good portion of the time, but our favorite go-to guest. It's been a good run.
Unnecessary jet slander was needed for the
That's
last 4 years now on this show.
That's fair.
Necessary.
I don't know what you're talking about, Faz. You say it like we don't have a whole show still to go through where we could slander the Jets all we want.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about the draft. You don't think this is over? How do you think we're going to finish it out?
My team has a quarterback that wants to play for them. So
what is that? Oh, that's at Billy. I was gonna say.
Billy can't say the same as a Packers fan.
No,
Sorry, Billy.
You just gonna take that, Billy?
I'm gonna have to take it. Like, there's nothing I can say. The man doesn't want to play. He's throwing a tantrum right now.
Listen, we're gonna get to the Aaron Rodgers stuff, but I want to talk about the draft first, and we're gonna save the Aaron Rodgers stuff for last. Okay, we have a scheduled upkeep to here.
Let's get to it.
All right, so Faz, I'm gonna start with you. What's your overall thoughts? Draft recap here.
Overall thoughts on the draft, I gotta say, it went a little bit like what happened was a little bit unexpected. I think everybody knew that 1 and 2 was going to be Lawrence and Wilson. 3 was where the draft really started because were they going to take Fat Mac? Was it going to be Trey Lance?
Fat Mac.
Sorry, Mac Jones.
Oh,
were they going to take Mac Jones?
Faz, it's brutal, man.
It's the truth. You've seen the picture of him with the cigar, but whatever. It was weird because then Penei Sewell fell, who was a player that I've raved about on the show that I love. Mac Jones fell to the Patriots. Like the Bears traded up to get Justin Fields. I feel like everything after 3 was just kind of like the Eagles trading up. It was a really weird draft in terms of player and team movement. But I think that the players that got picked, like there wasn't really a player in the first round that went to a team and I was like, I don't think that makes sense. Like, I think all the players fell into really good situations. I think the biggest miss, was the Bengals not taking Penei Sewell and going with Chase instead, who I understand you want to pair Burrow with his, college wide receiver, but you have a quarterback coming off a torn ACL. He needs protection. You have a generational offensive line talent coming out. But, albeit he gets his college wide receiver, so I get that. But aside from that, I think all the players really fell in good situations. I think Trey Lance was the perfect quarterback for the Niners. Not a big Mac Jones guy, but I think if he was going to go anywhere and succeed, it would probably be New England. I love the Bears trading up to get Justin Fields. The Andy Dalton QB1 graphic didn't really age very well.
Yeah,
but
that was funny, though. It
was funny, but albeit it didn't age well. But I love them trading up. I like the Eagles getting Deshaun Jackson 2.0 in Devontae Smith. As a Jets fan, I like the move to trade up to get an offensive lineman and then getting Elijah Moore later on. I just think, and then obviously the Giants fleecing the Bears with that pick. A lot of players fell in really good situations, and I think because of that, this draft class has potential to do really well.
Billy, your thoughts?
I think Faz said it pretty great. I think that there's some issues I have within this draft class, but nothing like so pressing where I think that the player won't succeed. It's just more so me looking at management and thinking, why would you think to do that? I think Faz did it really well with the Bengals pick, thinking to go wide receiver instead of with an offensive tackle there. I think another team that probably should have been considering O-line or defense or anything else in that first couple picks was the Falcons going Kyle Pitts. Now, I know Kyle Pitts is the best player on the board, and you take Kyle Pitts no matter what, but the Falcons have arguably the best receiving targets in football. And if you're going to look at the Falcons and ask why they're in the top 5, I wouldn't say it's tight end. I'd say that there's plenty of other things on the defensive side of the ball and all these other areas that they need to fix. So for them to decide to move forward with picking him, I think was a weird decision. And they're clearly a team that needs to make a move to win, otherwise they wouldn't be in top 4 drafting. So I think the Falcons made an interesting choice there going Kyle Pitts. But again, Kyle Pitts is a top prospect for a reason, and I think he's going to succeed. I just think it's weird for the Falcons to do that with Julio and Calvin Ridley and Hayden Hurst coming off a good year, even though it wasn't, super great for a tight end. He still had a good year and his best year in his career. So that was concerning to me. But a lot of picks I really like. I like Najee Harris going to the Steelers a lot. I think he'll do some damage there. And I really like my favorite thing that came out of this draft was Travis Etienne Jr. and Trevor Lawrence getting teamed up together in Jacksonville. I think that's going to be exciting to see them get to play professionally together because they've worked well together at Clemson.
We'll see. I mean, it was. I didn't feel like anyone had that terrible of a draft. Where like it really stands out. I wanted possibly the Giants to go in a different direction, but the guy we got, I'm not upset about. Maybe I'll get into that a little bit later, but I mean, even the Jets, I feel like no one had a bad draft. The Bears went up and got their guy. I think that was, leading into that, I think that was the biggest move of the draft, was the Bears finally have a quarterback that I think they might be able to make something out of here.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%.
It kind of scares me as a Packer fan.
Right.
Well, I mean, they're kind of on the rise, and you're kind of going down at this rate, so that's not good for you.
For years. We've been secretly going down and managing to get to NFC Championship games for a single reason. Like, nothing about us is good except for our quarterback.
It's true.
Like I said, we're gonna dive into that in just a little bit, but I don't really know how to summarize the draft. I wanted the guys looking into like the second round and stuff. Asante Samuel Jr. I thought would have been a guy that I would like to see the Giants pick up. I think he ended up with the Chargers in the second round pick. But,
yeah, he did.
I think he went, for me, a little low for D-backs. Because I thought he's a pretty good guy, player. So looking in the second rounds, obviously everyone wants to talk about the quarterbacks. So I asked you guys this before we get on to the Aaron Rodgers stuff. What quarterback's going to have the best rookie season? What quarterback's going to have the worst rookie season?
I think it depends on which ones are going to play their rookie seasons.
Assuming they all start.
Assuming they all start.
And I'm talking about the 5.
Okay. Trevor Lawrence is going to have the best. And not to say Zach Wilson will be bad, but I think he's going to struggle the most because the Jets are in a rebuilding phase and they're going to be going through development. I think Mac Jones is stepping into a really great situation with the free agency that the New England Patriots just had. And if he were to start, I think that he wouldn't struggle as much. Justin Fields has a lot of weapons, and I think the Bears were always kind of a quarterback away from finding success. So if he starts, he's going to be fine. Trey Lance is going into a really great situation. And if they run a good offense like they're used to doing with Kyle Shanahan, then I think he'd be fine. But I don't think he'd be great because I don't think he's going to pan out that well as a prospect. I just think Zach Wilson will struggle because the Jets are in a complete culture and player shift, and everything is changing in that organization. And I think Trevor Lawrence is going to show why he's the number 1 overall pick.
I am going to disagree with you on the Trevor Lawrence front. Okay. It pains me, but I do think that of all of the possible starters, I think Zach Wilson will be in the bottom tier. First of all, I haven't really been a fan of him. Hasn't played well in college against good teams. I'm pretty sure he's like 0-7 against teams with 10 or more wins in his conference. So he doesn't produce well against big talent, let alone going into the NFL onto a team that's in a rebuilding stage with not a lot of, real weapons or developed weapons around him, rather outside of Corey Davis and maybe Jameson Crowder. But all that aside, while I do think he might produce the least, I do still think he could have a solid career. But of the rookie quarterbacks, I actually think the best one's going to be Trey Lance. I think he's the most NFL ready, aside from Trevor Lawrence, but I think he's stepping into a much better situation. People forget the 49ers were a team that was in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They had a completely different, super talented defense, but their offense was pretty solid under Jimmy Garoppolo. And I think if they could replicate that production with Trey Lance, a guy who's an NFL-ready quarterback, then I think that the 49ers can really make some noise, and I think Trey Lance could play really well. He's surrounded by good weapons. It's a great coaching staff, and that is just a team that I think you could put any of these rookie quarterbacks in and they'll succeed. But Trey Lance has been proven to be super NFL ready. He's in a good situation. He's talented. He was a little bit of a surprise to me just because I would say he was the second best quarterback in the draft class behind Lawrence. I didn't think he would go 3. However, I really thought the Niners were going to take Mac Jones. But I could see Trey Lance having a really good rookie year in San Fran and bringing that team back to the playoffs.
I'm actually going to disagree with both of you, believe it or not. I think Justin Fields actually has the best rookie year.
Okay.
You know, I kind of threw a wild card into the question by saying, let's just assume that they're all starters, right? And I think if that's the case, there's definitely a case to be made for Trey Lance, just because that San Francisco team is so talented, as Faz was saying. If we're just talking about not guaranteeing that they're starters, for one, I think Justin Fields has one of the better shots besides Trevor Lawrence of winning that starting job at Week 1. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to still have that job come Week 1 in San Francisco. I do. And I think the same thing that Cam Newton might have that job Week 1, Week 2, Week 3. But I think, we start Week 1. I think Fields might be starting by Week 2, Week 3, maybe even by Week 1. And you got a Chicago offense that's young and on the rise. You have Montgomery and Tariq Cohen in the backfield. You have Darnell Mooney. He had a good rookie season for them when he was healthy last year. You have Allen Robinson, who finally might have a quarterback. And we'll see what that offense provides, because there has always been question marks for that. But they still have a good defense, too, with Khalil Mack leading on the other side of the ball. So I'm going to go with Justin Fields having the best rookie season among the quarterbacks. Now, obviously, Trevor Lawrence is probably the most likely pick. I just have question marks on what Coach, Urban Meyer is going to do down there, and if there's enough talent around him and what the plan is. Them going with a running back in the first round was a bit of a question mark for me. It's the same thing with Trey Lance. Trey Lance hasn't played as much, big games as guys like Fields has and stuff, so I feel like there's a question mark with him. But you have San Francisco's talent and the roster they have, and Coach Shanahan. So I think Trey Lance is going to be fine. If Shanahan sees something in Lance, there's, I trust him to the fact that Lance, I think, is going to be at least a decent quarterback. But I still think Jimmy's their guy for first half of the season at least. But we'll see. But to get back to my point here, my answer is who has the best rookie season. I'm going to go with Justin Fields. I feel like he has a chip on his shoulder as well.
I could see that. I mean, did you see the picture of all four of the top four quarterbacks getting their jerseys and getting handed the draft, and the first 3 are all smiling, and Justin Fields is just like,
yeah.
Well, I think
he's ready, bro. He's motivated.
I don't know him, but I don't think he's pissed that he went to Chicago. I think he's pissed that he fell past Trey Lance, the guy he was supposed to get picked possibly before.
I think realistically, you could have made a point for him to be second overall.
Yeah,
like. You could. I think that him and especially like when you compare their pro days and the throws that like made people go Zach Wilson to number 2, and the throws that people were looking at, Justin Fields is making the same throws at his pro day. And I think that
the tier is very clearly a 2-tier system. I think tier 1 is Trevor Lawrence, and everybody else I think is equal. It just depended on what kind of team and system worked the best for guys.
I just think it's the fear of an Ohio State quarterback.
Oh yeah,
Nobody has panned out. So they let him fall. But I think that he'll definitely have success in Chicago. I mean, he's stepping into a great situation. Like great wide receivers, great running back, maybe okay head coaching. I don't know. It varies week to week. But
it's true. There is question marks in Chicago, but I've just always felt this team needed a quarterback, and I'm sure all Bears fans can agree with that. Now, I wasn't huge on Justin Fields coming into the draft, but there's just something about what, this draft and what happened, them trading up, getting him at 10, him clearly being pissed about being taken that late. There's just something that is adding up for me that makes me feel that he's going to have a good year. But we'll see. I don't know. It maybe Andy Dalton wins the starting job. You never know in the NFL. So we will see about that. Guys, any final comments on any of the draft picks taken or, teams are... Oh, by the way, I only mentioned I didn't mention Zach Wilson is because I think Billy hit the point great that it's just because of the situation he's walking in. Faz mentioned him not playing it and, not having success in big games. That's another question mark. The same thing I have with Trey Lance and the competition he played in college. But he's walking into, I believe, probably the worst roster besides Jacksonville. That would be a discussion we would have to have. But out of all the other teams that drafted quarterbacks, those guys, he's definitely, it's them in Jacksonville, and I think Lawrence is just gonna be in. I trust Coach Myers' offense more than I trust what the Jets are gonna be doing on offense. I don't know what's gonna happen there.
Well,
So I would even say he's working
Come
with a
on,
worse
man.
roster than
No,
the
come on, come on.
Jaguars.
That's fair though, because I mean you have.
It's not a diss. Your roster's not there. You have to admit that. Corey Davis is not a star wide receiver one.
Oh no, not at all.
Neither roster is there. Like, we're not saying anything bad about the Jets, but the thing
Jacksonville has offensive weapons, though. That's the difference.
Salah's a defensive-minded coach. Like, if anything's going to lag at first for him as a head coach, it's going to be his offense.
It's just nothing against Zach Wilson. It's just the situation he's walking into. Lawrence has two running backs now, actually 3 really to work with. He's got 4 decent receivers.
Pains me, but I can't disagree. But I will say, this is a better roster this coming season for the Jets than it was last year.
On offense,
without it,
or just
on both sides of the ball. I don't really think you can argue against that.
Well, Corey Davis is an improvement over anything. So
Corey Davis is an improvement. I think Elijah Moore is an improvement. Tevin Coleman's an upgrade over Frank Gore. The offensive line got a little bit of an overhaul in free agency and in the draft. So I think yes, it's still a depleted roster, but I think there's more optimism about the talent of the roster this year compared to over the past, say, 2 or 3 years.
I could agree with that. I just want to correct you real quick. There's no such thing as upgrading from Frank Gore. But otherwise...
Going younger than Frank Gore.
There you go. That might be more accurate.
We dipped into the fountain of youth. That's all. You're right.
All right. I know, Billy, you're dreading this, but we got to at least talk about a little bit about what is going on with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, where do we think he's going? Just thoughts, guys.
Realistically, I mean, I could give you my thoughts right off the bat. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think they let his contract either run out or he retires because I think they're going to be so steadfast on not trading him. And it's just going to continue to exemplify the kind of organization we are, where we do absolutely nothing and then wonder why bad things happen to us. So, like, if anything, like, I was of the mindset that in the event that, like, so much goes on about the way that this is being narrated and said that I have no idea what's true and what to believe right now, he wants out, or he wants a change. I could 100% see them firing Brian Gutekunst over this, the GM.
I could see them doing it after he leaves, though, and, like, just defeat the whole purpose.
I could see that too, but I could see them doing that. Like, realistically, I could see them doing that because they don't want to go through that with a quarterback. But I think I saw something really interesting today about why, like, they're gonna, like, be so strong on him not leaving, and it's that they were able to re-sign guys on the team who he's really close with, like David Bakhtiari, and there was one other free agent this year who they re-signed, who, like, are pretty pivotal parts of the team and could have played literally anywhere in the NFL, but decided to re-sign and play there. And it's probably not to stay and hang out with Jordan Love. So I think they fully intend on doing whatever they can to make the relationship continue to work. That being said, if he gets his way and he gets out, he's going to Denver. I don't think there's any
Denver.
I think he goes to Denver because you're going to a team that's owned or managed, correct me if I'm wrong, by one of the best quarterbacks ever, who's going to understand the quarterback, who helped Peyton Manning through the ending stages of his career, where he's going to be living in a state where his current fiance and or wife, I don't know the full story, is actively living right now, and is going to be on a team that has offensive weapons, has defensive weapons, and is realistically a quarterback away. That's the kind of thing he needs. He'll be playing against one of the premier quarterbacks in football twice a year, so it's not like he's going to a team where, like, he's getting an easy ride to the playoffs every year. He's showing that he can still be competitive, and he's still going to be a competitive quarterback because he'll be playing against Patrick Mahomes twice a year. So I don't think it's, like, a fear move to go to the Broncos or do that, and I think that's more in line with him as a character. I think that no one should be surprised to see this happening, because after the NFC Championship game, it became a narrative that he can't win those, as he hasn't in years, and he keeps going to them and losing them. So it makes him look like a joke when the organization's been a joke this entire time. So I don't see why anyone would want to stay in a situation like that. I wouldn't.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't either. I mean, it's tough because you like to think that he'll get traded and everything will work out. Sunshines and rainbows for Aaron Rodgers. Well, I mean, if from his standpoint, obviously, if you're a Packers fan, you want to keep him. But I do have to agree that I feel like retirement, contract ending, like I'll put it this way. And he is, regardless of what that organization thinks, he is never going to wear a Packers jersey on the field again. I think trade, retirement, they cut him. He refuses to play. He sits out. I don't think he's ever taking the field for the Packers again. And that sucks because I loved watching the Aaron Rodgers Packers. Like, I'm not a Packers fan like you said.
Who loves watching the Aaron Rodgers Packers that's not a Packers fan?
I like
Billy, you didn't hear the second part. I said that's not a Packers fan.
I chose to ignore it.
Aaron Rodgers is like one of my favorite players ever. Well, correction. I like watching Aaron Rodgers in a Packers jersey. I don't like watching the Packers, I like Aaron Rodgers. I absolutely love Aaron Rodgers. For his sake, Denver, I think, is a great fit for him. I know they just drafted Trey Lance, but I feel like I'm picturing him in the red and gold and white. Like, I would love to see him on the Niners. I think that'd be a perfect team for him. Is it going to happen? Who knows? I think Denver's the more likely scenario. He put the Giants on his list. I saw something like that.
Who said that? I saw the Raiders. I didn't see the Giants.
I saw on Twitter that the Raiders, the Broncos, and the Giants were his list of 3. And Gettleman got asked about it, and he was like, I'm going to look into it. It's Aaron Rodgers. Who knows? So
I would take him.
If I'm you, I'm taking 3 years of Aaron Rodgers over 10 years of Daniel Jones in a heartbeat. But in terms of visually, I could picture him in a Niners jersey way more than I could picture him in blue and white.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, none of those teams that he put on his list are bad fits. Like, the Giants are a little bit younger and not as there as, say, the Broncos, but I think they're a quarterback away from being a pretty solid team. But you look at the teams on his list, and you think, are any of those teams really better than the Packers roster-wise? Like, are the Giants really a better team than the Packers? Yes, but like if you're Aaron Rodgers,
yes, I would say.
Yes, but you're 30, was he 35, 36, something like that? Like, you're not. Are you going to the Giants to win a Super Bowl? Are you going to the Raiders to win a Super Bowl? Unless he doesn't care about winning and he just wants to play where he wants to play.
If he wants a Super Bowl, it's got to be San Francisco or the Raiders. I don't think it's the Giants or.
Here's the thing.
Denver.
I think Aaron Rodgers knows that when he plays for the Packers, he is the difference maker in the team being 5-11 and being 13-3 and in the NFC Championship every single year. Whereas with a team like the Broncos, like they have pieces and they can be competitive. And when he goes there, he's reaffirming this narrative of him being one of the greatest quarterbacks, if not the greatest quarterback of all time in a talent perspective, that he's going to a team that can't win and then he's letting them win at 37 years of age. And then performing in that way. He's also doing it entirely on his own terms, and it shows how much bad blood there is with him in management that he just can't be bothered to play with them anymore. That he would go to a team of an equal roster of people playing entirely just to get out of the situation. And I mean, like, I think they were talking about it, and they said like the death knell for like their relationship was when like he said that Jake Kumaro was like a really great up and coming wide receiver on the roster,
and then they caught him
in 24 hours. And I was like how
death blow,
like, because it's like no one's heard of him. He's probably not playing anywhere right now. So,
I don't blame him for wanting to leave at all, but
yeah,
like I said, we don't know. We know his mindset is he wants out of Green Bay, he's sick of it there. But is his mindset at this point, I want to go win, or is his mindset, I just want to go play where I want to play? Put me on the Giants, put me on the Broncos, just put me on the team I want to play for. If I were to predict, I agree with Billy that I think the most likely scenario is he just never plays again, in all honesty. But if I were to
like in the league, he never plays in the league again.
Maybe
no,
not.
I think-
No
maybe
way.
not forever.
No way.
But correction. I spoke wrong. I think they're not. I don't. They're not going to trade him. There's no way they trade him. I think he's going to retire and then maybe take the year off, host Jeopardy like he's been doing and stuff like that, and then come back and sign somewhere. But if there was a trade to be worked out, just again, I don't think it'll happen because I think the Packers are going to be stubborn about trading him. I think the Niners can offer the best package. I mean, offer Trey Lance right there, right off the bat, and then picks and a couple of other young guys around him. And I think
They
Trey
have
Lance.
Love, though. They're not going to want Lance. They'd probably take Jimmy over Trey Lance.
Jimmy, Trey Lance, whoever, the Niners can put a quarterback alongside a package and offer the best package of any team in the league, I think. And
The Giants have stockpiled picks for next year.
Yes, but I mean, well,
I don't think the Giants are going to happen. I'd be shocked.
The Packers did decline a trade from the Niners, so who knows what's going to happen? I don't even think a trade's going to happen. To me, the most likely trade partners would be the Niners, the Giants. You're gonna hate me for saying this. The Seahawks.
I was thinking that too because Wilson wants out. What if they just did a swap?
Russell Wilson wants out. They're two. Wilson's younger, but I look at them as two guys that are in very similar spots in their career. They've gotten their Super Bowl glory. The ages are a little bit off, but they're a little bit frustrated. Rodgers very frustrated, but they're both some relativity frustration with the team that they're on right now. Who knows? Who knows? I think the most likely scenario is retirement for a year and go sign somewhere, but I'll let the Packers fan talk on this one.
Yeah, I think the most likely scenario is he retires and he pays out the due that he owes to the Packers and he just plays. And he signs somewhere instantly. Because, like, basically, in order for him to play, he would have to retire and then pay the Packers $22 million from the rest of his contract for, like, I believe, signing bonus to be able to play actively again because that's what he would owe them for voiding the contract. So I think he retires and just unretires and signs somewhere if he were to leave the team. But I think more likely than that is that the Packers just hold out forever, and we see where this goes.
Why not take a year off? I don't think that's that bad of an idea, actually.
But I think it's because he's old, and I think he wants to. Not that he's old. Like
I mean, Tom Brady's what, like 40-something now?
Yeah, but a year off to Aaron Rodgers is very different than a year off to Dak Prescott, let's say. You know,
like a year off. Aaron Rodgers is a one Super Bowl quarterback who's like running on fumes, right? Not to say he's like losing steam or whatever, but he is running on fumes in the sense where it's like if he ever wants to be able to catch him and like win more titles or at least like have something to his name other than the one Super Bowl in his second year as a starter, then he can't afford to take a year off. Like he needs to be traded. He needs to get some sort of difference in it. And honestly, I think Aaron Rodgers, who is sitting here so befuddled with the Packers organization, would shell out so much more than $22 million to be able to just get out of there. Like I think there's so much frustration to the point where he's comparing him to Jerry Krause or Brian.
Yeah.
So like I just don't think that there's any way that like unless the GM's fired and they take the right steps, I don't think there's any way for them to like repair that without Rodgers walking.
Right.
I guess we'll have to see. I feel like all this Aaron Rodgers drama has totally swept the Russell Wilson stuff under the rug.
Oh, 100%.
Because
I heard
he still wants to get traded. So like that's a thing too.
I heard Pete Carroll apparently said that like they talked through it and they were working on things to.
Well, obviously he's not going to come out and say, "Yeah, I hate Russell Wilson." Pete Carroll obviously wants Wilson to stay.
I think Russell Wilson is more likely to play in a Seahawks jersey next year than Aaron Rodgers.
He won't retire. I don't think.
Yeah.
I would talk about the Giants. I think Russell Wilson would look good in the Giants jersey.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah,
I would take him over. I think I'd take him over Rodgers.
All right, you watch your mouth.
Well, no. It's
age-wise,
the age
age-wise.
thing. The age
Yeah,
thing is what does it for me.
It's a big factor. You're trading for Aaron Rodgers. You have 2 years to win a Super Bowl. You're trading for Russell Wilson. You have
4 or 5.
6, 5,
4 or
6.
5.
Yeah.
You got Russell Wilson in that Giants uniform. He could play some baseball with the Yankees on weekends.
Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great. The Yankees could use
Great.
it. They
Like,
suck
I
right
love
now.
Little Bo Jackson style.
All right. I think that wraps it up for tonight. The last episode ever of GOAT Talk. I mean, guys, we got anything to say? This is it. Finals
I mean,
are
I
done
think-
tonight. We're all done.
That's
Me
We're
and Faz
done.
are graduating.
We're gonna party in May.
Party
I'm
in
gonna
May.
I have a statement actually, and this is the final time I will ever be able to say this to Sean's face on air. Sam Darnold's gonna be good next year. Just you watch.
Stop supporting
just-
him. He's in a
just-
Carolina uniform now.
I still think there's something there. Just you wait and see, Sean. When you're off, when you get that job with the Jets one day, you're gonna be
Never.
wishing that you were
Never.
editing footage. You are gonna wish you were editing footage of Sam Darnold.
I don't want to see that ugly mutt ever in my life.
I hope when the Panthers play the Jets, he smokes them. 400 yards, 6 touchdowns.
The
20
Panthers
for 20.
traded away the best quarterback they had on their roster to Denver for a 6th-round pick.
It's not true.
It's true. Teddy Bridgewater, if he starts, will have a better year than Sam Darnold.
Yeah, well, that's not gonna happen. So it sucks.
I don't know why you're still defending Darnold. You should come to the dark side now and realize that Darnold ain't it. He ain't it.
If Sam Darnold has a bad season, we will come back and do a Go Talk reunion episode, and you could say it could be a 30-second episode. Log in, look at me, and say, "Faz, I told you so." Log off. That's it. I'll let it happen.
All right, well,
support it.
this is recorded and published on Hog TV's YouTube, so now we have video evidence. That's going to have to be Billy call next year. We're going to be alum, but Billy will still be the station manager.
Oh, he's gonna bring us back.
Oh, I'm bringing you back.
He's
You don't
gonna
have
he's gonna ban Goat Talk forever. Just too much slander. No,
I think I might have to.
it's been a great 4 years, guys. I appreciate all the help with the technical stuff, Billy, and you coming on every now and then. Always happy to have you on. All the way back to our radio days. You were guest on the show, Mike. I mean, 4 years, man.
It's been it, man. It's been a
Started
lot
all
of
that
fun.
Summer of orientation.
Orientation brought us together, baby. We're still here kicking it. We proved the haters wrong. My brother, it's been fun. Billy,
Started
sorry.
a radio show.
It's all good.
Radio show. Then
Yep.
we recorded the radio show, and now we're a TV show. So
now we're a full. We literally cycled through from radio to like cool sort of like Mike and Mike in the morning type setup to full on streaming service. Anything for the audience.
anything
But
for the audience.
it's been fun. Hopefully Billy has us back to call some alumni games or something like that.
100%. I think I'd love nothing more for you guys to come back and share some stories, and I can't wait to talk about the abysmal season Zach Wilson's gonna have this year.
No, Darnold.
Me neither.
I like Wilson. The abysmal season of Sam Darnold.
Darnold.
You win.
All right. All right, everyone. Thank you guys for all of our loyal viewers out there who has been with us for years. I know there are some of you out there that have followed the show since me and Mike started its sophomore year. So thank you guys for that. We are motivated by this year the comments and the viewers, but people commenting on the show back when we were on the radio and stuff. We've always really appreciated you guys and have had a lot of fun on the show. We've had a lot of people come through and be on the show. We've ranged from talking sports to talking Star Wars Battlefront for one episode to playing 2K on episode to talking about field hockey, talking about rugby. Do you remember that, Faz?
Yeah, no, we had
Christian.
Yeah, we did cricket. Didn't we do a cricket one too?
And track. We had. I mean, we've done it all. We've done it all.
Yeah, we've done a lot. Sean, give me how many episodes have we done? Give me a ballpark. You figure
including the radio stuff or just
including the radio stuff. You figure what 15 a semester?
Yeah, I would say
we've done like 60 something episodes probably.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
Sure. It is nuts. It's all on. Well, they're not all on YouTube. We started Hawk TV a little bit later.
We'll do an autograph signing when we go to Jack's next week and get drinks. We'll host.
We'll be there. Go Talk will be there.
We'll do a meet and greet.
All right. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's really just surreal that today was the last day of finals. Now we're done. I guess it really hasn't hit me yet, but thank you guys again. Thank you everyone, and it's been a great last 4 years here doing Goat Talk. A great start and now a great finish. So I hope everybody has a good summer, and who knows, maybe you'll see us arguing about Sam Darnold again. I would guess that's in our future. I'm no fortune teller, but that will probably happen.
Oh, without a doubt.
Later, everybody.
Take care, everyone. Have a good night.